What is the best way to budget when building my own house? Well, in this video, we are going to answer just that. And welcome to our channel, House Plans and Construction Expert Platform, a place where we teach you how to build your financial legacy using property as a vehicle. My name is Chikwabe, founder of Chilumi Architects and Home Designs, a place where we teach you how to build right, and we're all about helping you build elegant, affordable, modern homes below market value and without using your own money. I am also a professional property investor in residential developments with more than 2 decades of experience in architecture and project management. So back to the question, how do I budget when building for my own house? Well, it all starts with having a grand plan, having an overview plan, so to speak. And it all starts with getting to have a plan and a budget for your stand or your land or your plot. You want to buy a plot that is within what you can afford. You don't want to just buy something and in the end it becomes a waste, but within what you can afford, and so that you can keep within your budget. So that's one part. And then second part is really looking at construction itself. Building construction budget can actually be broken down into two sections, in what we call hardcore costs and softcore costs. Hardcore costs are basically physical costs that are directly related to construction. You're looking at building materials like sand, cement, tangible things we can see, electrical materials, plumbing materials, fixtures, toilets, hand basins, showers, and also landscaping. Not forgetting having overheads, costs like operational costs like traveling, phone calls, but even more importantly, depending on where you are building, in certain organized areas you find that before you even start building, you are required to barricade your site for safety reasons and also security reasons. So you'll be required to do that. All those are costs. You'll be required to set up a small office where whether inspectors or professionals come and meet and discuss issues on site. Sometimes, depending on how you arrange and order your materials, sometimes you may want to even have to build or bring in a small storage where you bring in certain materials that are sensitive and you want to protect. Sometimes also, depending on which area you are building in, you may be required to bring in some kind of security, whether it's hiring 1 or 2 security guards or a security company. But bottom line is you then begin to budget for all those costs. You want to be aware and plan for all those costs. And then on the other side, you have what we call soft costs. And soft costs are basically, these are intangible costs, but they are not really directly related to the construction itself. But these are planning costs, professional costs, costs for bringing in an architect, a draftsperson to design plans for you. That's one part. But then also secondly, bringing budgeting for their services. You bring in an architect to design, but also it's another thing, and I always want to encourage people who build. Once in a while, if you can't afford bringing in an architect or draftsperson full-time to manage or supervise your work, but at least once in every milestone, you bring them on board to help you monitor your works, just to see that everything is going right. You don't want to bring in somebody at a later stage when a lot of damage has been made, and it can be very expensive. But bottom line is you want to budget for even some of those things. You want to do the same with an engineer. They will design foundations, but also give them small budgets for their site visits, just to come and inspect works before certain milestones are accomplished. Also, you want to, depending on how you want to design your house, depending on how you want the house to come out, so to speak. You can bring in interior designers, interior decorators, surveyors to help you with site analysis, geotechnical reports, legal fees, administrative fees, fees you use for the submission and approval of building plans. So you want to line up all those things. Sometimes, depending on how you implement all these things, but at the end of the day, you want to have a list of all these components, very important components. You want to have them on your plan. But somebody may ask, what if I don't have the budget to start and finish the project at a go? What do I do? Should I even consider building? Should I wait until I have served for the whole project? What should I do? Well, first thing is what I don't encourage, and I don't think it's very wise, is because I see in many cases where some home builder just have a small savings and bring in laborers, let's go and build. Wherever the money ends, it's where we're going to stop. So, and I've seen this happening, especially at floor, concrete and surface bed level. You find that the beginning, the laborers have casted concrete, and somewhere along the way, the money is depleted and then can't continue, and they just leave it like that. And then many days later, they come and continue where they had left from. Now, the funny thing with concrete is that when you have laid to a particular point and it has dried, it's always very difficult to come and join that concrete. So you rather want to plan it so well, carefully, such that when you're dealing with your surface bed, you want to deal with it from start to finish. And then you can take a breath. And then you can take the next stage. And then you can take the next stage. So like what I normally do, and I also encourage home builders, is that as for me, I normally categorize or break down my building construction processes into 5 steps. I normally have foundations with a floor slab. Then I get to have the superstructure and the roof. And then the third stage, I have plaster and installation of windows and doors. Then I have the 4th phase, which is basically dealing with finishes, laying of tiles, installation of fixtures like toilets, hand basins, showers, etc. And then the last part, I would be dealing with landscaping. So then I would encourage my clients, I would encourage owner builders to say, look at it this way. At least have a budget for your phase one. Do your foundations up to your surface point level. And take a breath, save. And then come and deal with your superstructure and roof. And usually once you put in a roof, you can begin to kind of breathe. And then you continue with the other steps. Bottom line is you want to have a budget for every particular phase that you're dealing with. You know, this phase is going to start and it's going to finish. So in that way, you can easily plan well, you can easily organize yourself well, and it's easier to even have savings in that particular. Yeah, the next item I would want to look at and consider is what we call a contingency budget. A contingency budget is and could range anywhere between 15 to 20% of your entire construction budget. And basically these are items which really they are unforeseen items. Items we may not have seen during your construction budget. Items which you tend to just pop up during construction. And surprisingly so, every construction has these surprises. They just pop up and you've got to deal with them. One of the things which I really got frustrated with in my early stages of constructions were these small items which will just pop up. And there's a thing with psychology. If you budget for some of these issues, it becomes very difficult when they come. It becomes very easy to deal with them when they come. Unlike when they just pop up, and depending on how you look at it, they could be so much of a frustration. I did experience a lot of this because in my beginning I didn't used to do a very detailed and comprehensive budget. I would only focus on the major items. But until when you am on site and I begin to see these small issues popping up, there would be quite so much of a frustration for me. But unfortunately, those items cannot be avoided because they are part of the construction process. So, bottom line is you want to budget for those unforeseen circumstances. And just to recap, we've looked at an overview of the construction budget. We've looked at land costs. We've also looked at the building cost, which is divided into two parts. We've got your soft cost, and then we've got your hard costs. And then the last part, which has to always be part of the budget, is the contingency budget. In that way, you will have better and well-controlled construction project. Remember, at all times, the very reasons why you want to build your own is you want to save as much as possible. You want to build with less as much as possible. So controlling all these components, controlling contingencies, controlling the usage of water and electricity during construction really goes a long way. So there we have it. And so hook me up with a thumbs up if you like this video. I always love those thumbs ups. Thank you very much. And make sure you subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. And click that notification bell so that you don't get to miss our future videos. But also share with us what topics excites you the most, and also what topics we should include in our next videos. Thank you very much. You can always support us through watching more videos and making comments and clicking on the like buttons, but also sharing our content with others. So please subscribe and see you in our next